welcome to workout number 3. I know you guys have been missing the hamster dance, so I thought I would lead into this workout with your favorite workout music of all time. Today I'm sort of by myself. I'm in the school. This is the first day of everybody being told to get away from everybody else, stay at home, be safe, and I did not want to have anybody else in the school with me to stay in compliance with that. So it's just me today. My words of wisdom for everyone today is going to be, if you're feeling stressed out, try some quiet meditation. Some quiet meditation music. If you're feeling like maybe that's not going to do it for you, play fast music, dance music, rock, whatever it takes to relieve that stress. Because believe it or not, as one of our black belts said today, stress affects your immune system. So we're trying to do away with stress by maybe the environment that we're in. We just need to sort of make things a little bit less stressful for us. Music can do that for us. So take advantage of that. I also wanted to talk about the rules of karate that we have been talking about over a really long time. The first time that we introduced this, we said there are 3 rules, and then as we slowly started building more onto it, we still kept the name as the 3 rules, but we're up to about 10 right now. And I want to remind you guys what those are, because some of those are very important right now. The first one is no talking around when you're doing your workouts. Be serious. Try to get your workouts done as best you can. The second one is no playing around when you're doing your workouts, although having fun when you're doing your workouts is important. Say yes sir, no sir to your coach or to your parents, so that it lets them know that you're really learning your martial arts character skills, and saying yes sir and no sir is a really important one. The fourth one we say is no crying. It's just tongue-in-cheek, fun little rule, because we're trying to help people to learn to be reliant on themselves. And as we express emotions, crying is important, but it will also help us to understand that we can control that. The next one is no spitting. No spitting in the class. We don't like people spitting on the floor, because we know why now, because it can lead to spreading of germs and fungus. No picking your nose and eating it. No farting in class. No playing with your toes. When you are at your house, be nice to your parents, especially right now. I mean, it is really, really important. And the last one is just be good. Those are our 3 rules of karate, and try to follow them as best you can. So today I'm going to present for you Panantukan. Panantukan is one of the few exercises that we do that crosses over from kickboxing to weapons to self-defense. And I'm going to demonstrate each one of those disciplines during the exercises today, and I encourage you guys to practice along with me. If you don't have some fake knives at your house, just use punches in your gloves, or maybe a spoon. You don't necessarily have to have a knife. So we're going to go over these Panantukan 12 exercises. I'm going to break them down, a couple for each of the disciplines. I'll do a couple for kickboxing, a couple for weapons, and a couple for self-defense. I've set up a triangle step back here at the back of the school, and I'm going to use that as a guideline for showing you how we do our triangle stepping as we're doing our Panantukan. One of the things that kind of fun about Panantukan is we do it off both sides. It's a 3-strike combination on each one of the sides that we do. It's going to repeat off both sides, so it gives you a chance to sort of practice it. This is something you can do every single day. You just need a space of about 5 feet in square, and then that's good enough for you to do it. If you like to do it with music, throw some music on. So right now I'm going to go through the Panantukan 12 combinations. I'll start with empty hands, so you can see sort of a self-defense version of it. Then I'm going to use knives, and then I'm going to put kickboxing gloves on, and then I'll go through those as well at the end. So your turn to practice at home as well. Typically we use these for 30 seconds each move. So we'll start off with self-defense, stepping up. We're going to do a triple jab. step with the right, triple jab. Step back, step up to the other side, triple jab. Next one we're going to do, jab, cross, jab. Step back, step up to the side, jab, cross, jab. Now we'll go through jab, cross, hook, both sides. Step up in that triangle step. This prevents you from stepping into the position where the opponent is. Jab, cross, hook, triple jab. Jab, cross, uppercut. Jab, cross, uppercut. Jab, cross, low body hook. Jab, cross, low body hook. The next one we start with the rear hand. We're going to step in, we're going to go cross, hook, cross. Opposite side, cross, hook, cross. Then we go cross, uppercut, cross. Same thing, both sides. Cross, uppercut, cross. Then we're going to go cross, body hook, cross. Cross, body hook, cross. All right, this next one is overhand, uppercut, overhand. We do it off both sides. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. We start with the rear hand when we do the move. The last two, uppercuts and the cross. Step with the other side, uppercuts and the cross. Last one, uppercuts and lead side hook. It doesn't matter in which order you throw these for the execution of the move. It just matters that you include all 12 as you're going through, and you can mix and match them. It's up to you. Okay, so next I'll do the same thing with knives. Don't put the timer down. I think we got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using two very dull, not sharp knives to practice my moves. It's exactly the same thing that I just did empty hands. So this is how I show it using weapons. And I could be using just a stick, both hands. I'm just choosing to use the knives as an example. So here I go. I'm going to step up, triple jab, then the other side, triple jab. I'm going to go jab, cross, jab. Again, I'm throwing punches, but I'm doing it with knives. Jab, cross, jab. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, uppercut. Jab, cross, uppercut. Now I'm going to go with the rear hand starting. Cross, hook, cross. Cross, hook, cross. Next is cross, jab, cross. I missed that one the last time. Cross, jab, cross. Then I'm going to go cross, uppercut, cross. Cross, uppercut, cross. Uppercuts with the lead side. So I'm going to go cross, or cross, body hook, cross, and the rear side. Cross, body hook, cross. The overhand, overhand, uppercut, overhand, opposite side. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. Now I'm going to do the uppercuts, and then I'm going to do the cross. Uppercuts, cross. Now I'm going to go uppercuts, and then hook. Uppercuts, and hook. So there it is with the knives. We had self-defense, we had weapons. Now I'll put on my boxing gloves, and I'll do exactly the same thing for you using kickboxing elements. Same moves, nothing different. That is if I remember to do them properly. I'm going to use the same footwork. I have this little triangle on the floor so I know where to step. Keeps me honest. So I'm not stepping improperly. If I step too close to the opponent, what we call straight in, the middle position, then that's going to get me closer to them, and it gives them the advantage. When I'm trying to strike, I don't want to give the advantage to my opponent. I want to keep it for myself. So here we go. This is kickboxing. Now I'm going to step in, both sides. I'm going to do the same thing with the gloves on. Triple jab. Now it's a kickboxing exercise. Now I'm going to go jab, cross, jab. Other side. Jab, cross, jab. Jab, cross, uppercut. Jab, cross, uppercut. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. All right, we're going to go jab, cross, body hook. And then jab, cross, body hook. Now I'm going with the rear hand first. So I go cross, jab, cross. Again, other side. Cross, jab, cross. Cross, hook, cross. Cross, hook, cross. Now I'm going for the uppercut. Cross, uppercut, cross. Cross, uppercut, cross. Cross, body hook. Drops low. Come back high with the cross. Other side. Cross, body hook, cross. Okay, my favorite. Here we go. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. These all work in kickboxing. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. Here we go with our uppercuts. Uppercuts and a cross. Other side. Last one. Uppercuts and the hook. And finally the other side with the hook. Okay. Having the ability to see all three of those in a row using self-defense, weapons, and kickboxing is a good example of how you can cross from one style of martial art into the other using exactly the same moves. You just modify how you have the application. That's the part of what we spoke about in the previous exercise about self-defense. And then it's all one thing. It's not four different things. It's just one continuous flow. The name of that exercise again is called Panantukan. It's a Filipino, it's called dirty boxing for those people that have practiced it for a while, but we call it Panantukan. And what I want to go over as a sample from that kickboxing example that I just did for you is we did 4 levels. 4 levels of self-defense, 4 levels of weapons, and now we have 4 levels of kickboxing. These are in specific order. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is movement. You can spend your entire life working on movement for your fighting. It is one of the most essential skills that you can develop, and the more you move, the better your fighting will get. So again, talking about the way you move isn't just moving around the room. If I just take off running around the room, that's movement, but it's not fighting movement. What I need to do is I need to be moving as I'm coming into the opponent. I need to try to change the position of my head. It's right here. There's a crosshairs on it. So when I move directly in, if the opponent counterattacks me, they have no difficulty in taking advantage of that opening. So what I want to try to do is I want to try to move my head up and down because it's already moving back and forth. So as I'm going in, I drop down like we did on that body hook punch from the Panantukan. So I'm actually right now using 2 different movements. I'm going front to back and up and down. There's 3 dimensions of movement. Front to back, side to side, up and down. And as I'm fighting, I want to be able to implement as many of those as I can to make it so that I'm a harder target to hit. If you're a moving target, it's going to be harder to hit you. But if you're a target that moves 3-dimensionally constantly, it's going to be nearly impossible for your opponent to make contact with you. So again, this first movement that we're doing, coming in, this is movement. I'm going in and dropping down. I can do a jab and go 3 different levels and create that vertical movement as well as that horizontal movement on initial technique that I'm coming in for. As I'm going for my next move, I can move off the firing line. My head is connected to my shoulders and my legs. As I'm moving, I keep the punch in the proper position, but I'm moving off the firing line, which means the opponent standing right in front of me, I'm going to appear to move to the right of the opponent, to the left on my technique, as I do my follow-up move. So there's that 3rd level of movement. I'm going forward, I'm going up and down, and I'm going side to side. So just in 2 techniques, a jab and a cross, I've gone from directly moving straight in to now moving off the firing line, and that's the kind of movement that we want to use when we're fighting, not just moving around. Moving around is moving, but it's not fight movement. And that what we want to do is we want to incorporate fight movements into our fights. Why else would we do it? The second thing, and I just demonstrated for you, which is as I'm moving in, I'm creating a way for me to not have to block what my opponent is throwing. But when we talk about blocking, we're not talking about waiting for the opponent to strike, do a full block, and then a counterattack, because that's not actually blocking. That's taking turns. We don't want to take turns with an opponent. We want to initiate contact. We want to close the distance. We want to neutralize their technique. We want to be smarter about our fighting, not give the advantage to the opponent every time they fire. So what I'm going to do is, as I move in, I'm going to block as I strike. I'm going to use the combination of the 2 so that I'm not wasting time waiting for the opponent to do something. I want to initiate the attack. I want to engage, and I want to force the situation. I want to make my opponent react to what I'm doing. If I have the disadvantage of moving second, I want to use my block as a way to thread the needle. I want to make my technique go in between the two techniques that the opponent might be throwing at the same time. And if you think about it, if you're getting ready to walk into a room and all of a sudden somebody closes the door before you're ready to get in, that's going to cause it's going to mess with your movement. You're not going to be able to keep going, and you might end up slamming into the door. That's what we're doing with our technique as we block and strike simultaneously, because what I want to do is step in and fire as the opponent is moving in, so I'm getting two motions moving together. I've got a head-on collision as I fire at the same time my opponent is stepping in. If I'm blocking at the same time, I can be moving their technique slightly out of the way, not stopping the move, but allowing it to pass by so that the opponent covers more distance and gets closer to my technique, so there's more of a head-on collision as it hits. A really good example of that is off-angle reverse punch, off-angle lunge punch, off-angle cross punch. As I step forward on the triangle, I move off the firing line, my lead hand does the cover, and then I do my counter punch simultaneously. These are not individual moves. These are all at the same time. When I'm in my fighting position and I'm waiting for the opponent to move, then I have to have something in a sneak attack waiting for him. I have to be prepared to block, I have to be prepared to move, and I have to be prepared to do the third thing in the kickboxing, which is fire, strike, hit, counter, or offensively strike, which means to hit first. So those are 3 of the 4 levels of kickboxing: move, block, and hit. Now there's one that is one that we don't use when we're training against our classmates here at the school. And that is, we're trying to defeat the opponent. We're trying to make them quit. We're trying to make them give up, if that means we have to injure him or knock him out. And of course, that's not allowed here because we have to use control. We're only allowed to use a certain amount of power, and we're never allowed to knock the opponent out. So what I've done is I've sort of substituted another level for you that you can use instead of aggressively trying to destroy your opponent, and that is more movement, because we can never have enough movement when we're fighting. And it encourages me to be a more flamboyant fighter, to do things that are more cool looking as I'm trying to learn how to be a better fighter. I want to throw better kicks. I want to throw better combinations. I want to make my opponent sort of second guess what they're doing, so I'm controlling the fight. And the way I can do that is by better movement. And I'll do an example of that in just a few minutes once I'm finished talking about your levels of kickboxing, and I can show you what I'm talking about with technique. So, well, that's actually the last of the ideas here that I want to present on today's lesson, and that is 4 levels of kickboxing. So let's go over them. We're going to move, we're going to block, we're going to strike, and we're going to move some more. Move a lot more. The idea that we can encapsulate a martial art into just 4 check boxes means that I'm oversimplifying it, because it really isn't that easy. It isn't that easy for you to become that good of a fighter that you can simply say, these are the things that you need to do. As you become a better fighter, you learn to recognize those patterns, you learn to take advantage of those patterns, and you learn to be a better fighter because of the repetition of it. That means you have to do it a lot. Repetition is the way in which we make improvements in ourselves. We do something enough every single day, every single month, every single year, it's going to make us better because of the repetition. Not because of the idea of it, but because we employ the idea. We actually do it over and over and over again. If I do the same exercise only once, 6 months later come back to it, it's not going to have improved. I need to do it every day for 6 months before I'm going to know that I'm improving, because nobody will be able to tell me what I'm doing. I'm going to be able to figure it out on my own. When I get to the point where I'm figuring out my own mistakes, making self-correction, making better decisions when I'm fighting, shot selection and decision making, 2 very important things in your fighting, then you will become a better fighter because of the practice. All right, so let's talk about these other things. Let me give you your homework assignment, as I did in the previous video. This one is, you'd only have to do it once. Make up a kickboxing technique that you would like to hit me with. So when you get back to the school and you've been practicing for all of this time, because I'm still practicing, here I am. I want you to have a technique that you have been thinking about Well, I want to really hit Tio with that one. I want to kick him in the head. I want to kick him in the body. I want to kick him in the Weezer. Wherever you want to do that, punch, kick, combination. I want you to have your technique ready, waiting, and I want you to fire on me when you get back into school, when we're fighting. All right, so there's your homework assignment. And the last thing I'm going to show you is, and I just titled this, Throw Some Kicks and You Don't Care How They Look. Because as I'm practicing on my own, I'm going to play music. I'm going to play a lot of inspirational things, talk to people, get motivated. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play around. I'm going to play around with my technique because I don't even know what I'm going to do. I haven't made up the techniques that I'm going to practice. I'm just going to go through about 30 seconds to a minute of kicking, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm not going to know until I play it back the same way you guys are going to know what it looks like. Could it be terrible? It could be sort of okay. It might be good. I don't know. But I'm going to do it for 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll end with that. Thanks for joining me today. Be back tomorrow with workout number 4, and stay safe. All right, that's good enough for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Keep practicing.